Right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint, especially on a public holiday. Right, what you all doing here? Shouldn't you be at home, relaxing? You have to make some money. Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you going through what DuePoint's all about and what we do here and what the proposed partnership is all about. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country because we're live streaming as we do every single event, so welcome to you. They're probably sitting at home in bed watching us, right? We have about twice as many people tuned in on our live stream than we have here at head office. Okay, so let's begin. Today is indeed Women's Day. We get to celebrate our grandmothers, our mothers, our aunties, our sisters, our daughters, our nieces, our cousins, right? Pillar of society. I hope everyone's got a woman to look up to in their lives. Today we're going to celebrate that. So you're here at DuePoint's head office. We're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. They were founded in 1952, so they've been around for a very long time, nearly 7 decades. That's their little orange logo, their building in the background. You probably won't recognize their logo. They typically only do business with other financial service providers, but for the first time through this division called DuePoint, they are directing themselves at the public, you and I, consumers. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. Obviously, we are an insurance company, so we have to abide by FSP regulation. We disclose our FSP number, our license. You'll notice in the foyer, one of the walls has got all our certificates on it, right? Those are our FSP licenses. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license. We've got our FSP license on display. We also show our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and Direct Selling Associations because we take credibility very seriously here at DuePoint. If we're going to be proposing a partnership with a business, it's very important that our audience, our guests, start to build some trust in the business that we're going to be speaking about. That's obviously fundamental to creating any partnership, that you trust your partner, right? The individuals here at DuePoint, at least the executives and the management team, are these people you see up on the screen. The boring people on the far left here are all registered chartered accountants. They spend their lives in Excel and looking and thinking about numbers. The first person on the far left is Brendan. He's our senior executive. He is from the infamous, I wouldn't say infamous, but the famous Benfield family. They've been involved in insurance for about 50 years already. Brendan's father is a professor of insurance who taught at Wits for 25 years. His father founded Clientele Life a few decades ago. And they've started a host of FSPs or financial service providers very successfully, not only in South Africa but around the world. Brendan and his brother Stuart have been entrenched in insurance their entire lives. We always tease them. We say shame for them. They probably got insurance policies as kids when they were growing up. Birthday presents, Christmas presents, get another insurance policy, right? You can only become an accountant after that. But we're very lucky to have them, or Brendan at least, heading this division. Him and his brother Stuart actually founded Prime Meridian Direct, which is a very successful short-term insurer based down the road. I think they're the 4th biggest short-term insurer in the country already. So they've had a lot of success in the financial sector. Tim Reynolds, he's been involved in corporate banking. Most of his working career is with the First Rand Group before he joined the team here at DuePoint. Tim heads up our financial, the regulatory, the accounting aspects of the business. Stacey supports him in that. Stacey's here today helping us on this public holiday, and she's got experience in auditing. She worked with Deloitte all her working career, locally as well as overseas, before she came back to South Africa and she joined the team here at DuePoint. So those are the boring accountants. Then on to the two interesting, good-looking and tall people. Jane is actually crouching down a little bit just to make Brendan appear not the shortest person in the team. But Jane is actually from the UK. She's actually on holiday at the moment, visiting her folks in York, or near York in the UK. She brings a lot of international experience with regards to direct selling to our business, because even though we're an insurance company, our success is predicated on the growth through network marketing or referral marketing, and Jane brings that experience to the team. And then myself, tallest, best looking person in the team. You know, when Brendan gives the presentation, it all reverses. He says it starts off with the least best looking person to the best looking person. If you go to our homepage, there's a photo of Brendan on our homepage. That's him without his glasses on. Have you recognized that? Can you see Brenda on our homepage? Anyway, so I've been in marketing and advertising all my working career. I did try to do a stint in engineering at Wits. It was far too much homework when I was studying at Wits. So I went back into the workplace. I started working at a fairly early age. I started my own business at a fairly early age. In the late 90s, I started a digital agency. I ran that for almost 20 years, fairly successfully. It paid all the bills, and we never had to retrench anyone, right? That's the definition of success. Not really, because I'll touch on why I left that business, why I deemed that business actually to be a failure. And I'll touch on that a little bit later in the presentation. But this is the team. Our mandate here is to support the people that join us in this partnership, right? So we want to collaborate with you towards your success and effectiveness in this business partnership because, well, as an enterprise, we can only be profitable and successful if our partners are being effective out there. And so understand that everything we do in this business is to support you in that role. We're going to collaborate with you. You're going to get to know us well, right? Especially if you're in this business for a lifetime. We'll become best buddies. Our families will get to know each other. So this is very much a people business. We don't hide in our offices. We're very much involved with the people that join us in this partnership. And we love to see the success that you have in this business. So that's a little bit about us and the business. We find ourselves here on a public holiday, lunchtime. Like I said, there's probably way more better things to do than be in a business presentation on a public holiday. But at this point of the presentation, we like to delve into all the negative aspects of our lives from a financial perspective. Unfortunately, right? Not to depress you, but to actually set a very realistic tone as to where we are as South Africans in this economy, right? Because this is important. I think we turn a blind eye to the true issues that we face on a day-to-day basis. And so we discuss some of the driving factors. The driving factors are the factors that push you into looking at a business opportunity beyond employment. Because you do realize that getting involved in another entrepreneurial opportunity is going to take time, right? It's going to take time away from family, from watching TV, watching sport, doing fun things on public holidays. But we are interested in this because we need to. We need to find something over and above employment. If employment was the answer to all our issues, you wouldn't be here, right? So some of the driving factors we look at, one is the economy. Anyone happy with the economy? Anyone love to listen to 702 or read the newspaper and go, oh, that was so refreshing, looking at all the good news, right? So the economy is actually one of the negative driving factors around personal finance for us because it directly affects us from a personal point of view. So we see it in the form of inflation sitting at about close to 7%, food inflation sitting at 11%. We've got interest rates that are fairly high. And unfortunately, our salaries don't keep up with the rising cost of living, right? So this is what creates the biggest issue in our lives. We've got inflation and the rising cost of living at this rate, which is about 7-8%, and your salary, which is sitting over here, not keeping up with what inflation is, right? And I can ask you the question, who got a 7-8% increase in their salaries every single year for the last 6 or 7 years? Usually no one, right? So what's happened in effect is that your salary is actually devalued against the cost of living. And you will see it because you're thinking, yes, am I just spending more money every month? No, what's happening is the cost of living is getting away from what your salary is. Food is doubling in price every 8 years. And so you have this gap that starts to take place between cost of living and salary, right? And what do we do to band-aid that gap? Look at the 4-letter word on the screen behind me. Can you see it? That's the one batting its eyelids back at you because it loves you so much. Debt. And debt is something we do have control over. The economy is frustrating because we don't have any control over what the economy does. Nothing any of us are going to do is going to change that fact. But debt is something that is not forced upon us, right? We look at it to kind of solve our issues, which creates a problem in itself. And South Africans will engage in all kinds of debt, all kinds of debt. We think it's normal because everyone is doing the same thing, right? So as a society, as a country, we engage in too much debt. So often the criticism of economists, they say, oh, South Africans, we engage in too much debt and not enough in savings and investment products. We need to start saving more. We're not a nation of savers, blah, 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 blah. We only start looking at saving and investment products around the age of 50. So we get statistics in from the FSB that shows us what happens on a macro level. And we look at things like personal loans, educational loans, home loans, very acceptable, credit cards, car loans. You can hire purchase furniture, hire purchase clothes. You can hire purchase avocados from Woolworths. And you can just build up all this debt in your life. But what happens, what you don't realize, because you start engaging in debt at a fairly early age. So the moment you start earning a salary, you will be offered debt instruments, right? Any company will say, oh, you're earning a salary, I'll gladly offer you some credit because I know you're going to pay me back every month because you get a salary. I can debit you. And so we start engaging in debt at an early age, and it's usually at an age where we don't have too much accountability in our lives. And I think this is the trick, right? So in your 20s, you don't have little financial burdens running around. You don't have a home that you're paying off. You perhaps don't have a expensive car that you're paying off, and so you start to engage in all this debt, and you get a couple of credit cards. And what happens is when you start building up more accountability in your life, more responsibility, you start a family, you start looking at trying to buy a house, or you're renting a bigger house because you have a family, you're expected to go on holidays at the end of the year, and the cost of living starts running away from your salary, you suddenly find yourself in a position where you don't have any option to get out of this debt that you find yourself in. And we find ourselves in this debt cycle. And this debt cycle exists on a monthly period, right? And you know it. You know it because it happens to you every month. You get the one SMS at the end of the month. Ding, salary. And then 10 more. Ding, 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 ding. Debit order, debit order, debit order, debit order, debit order. And you're thinking, I hope there's money left over when the SMSs are finished. And we stress every single month because we're in this debt cycle. And then at the end of the year, there's another debt cycle. There's an annual debt cycle because we'll spend the whole year trying to survive. But then we know the closer we get to the end, we just want to get enough so that we know we can go on holiday at the end of the year, right? We like to go visit family. We like to take the kids away. They're on holiday. Do we get a bonus at the end of the year? Probably not. And your employer serves you a disservice by paying your January income a few weeks early. You know they do that? And then you come in January thinking, when am I getting my salary? I got it 2 weeks ago. Now I'm in real trouble. And so we find ourselves in this annual debt cycle that exists too. And it exists for all of us. And we get statistics again from the FSB that shows us exactly what's happening on a macro level for South Africans. And it's the majority of South Africans. 50% of the South Africans in this country that have debt in their lives, which is pretty much the entire working class, 50% of them, half of them are under debt review. You know what debt review is? Is when you have been unable to service your debt for longer than 3 months. In other words, you're running out of money every month for 3 months in a row. That's half our population. The statistics are frightening, right? And so the average South African will only start looking at savings and investment products around the age of 50 on average. That's 10 years away from retrenchment. You know, retirement and retrenchment are exactly the same thing. They're the same thing. At the end of retrenchment, you don't get a salary paid to you. At the end of retirement, they throw you a party and then they don't pay for you. Right? It's exactly the same thing. So that brings us on to the next driving factor with regards to personal finance, is retirement planning. Because if you find yourself in this debt cycle, what happens is you're unable to take your eye off this ball called debt on a monthly period. And what happens is you lose focus on what's going to happen when you get to retirement, right? So this was an article that was actually published on the Fin24 website that kind of shows you what retirement planning looks like. The article was written because of the rising mortality rate. So people are dying later and later and later. They're living longer and longer and longer. Your retirement planning has to keep up with that fact. Because in the old days, right, no offense to the old people, they die on average currently at 74. Okay? But because of health services and technology and medical services and all that, we're living longer. So they reckon kids being born today are going to live past 100. Already in South Africa, we've got over 4,000 people living in South Africa that are over the age of 100. What did their retirement planning look like, right? Did their financial advisor say, you're going to live to 100. You need to make enough investment to last you 40 years. And this is what it looks like. So this will last you to 90, right? If you have R1 million in place as a cash investment or some form of investment, retirement plan, pension scheme, whatever, the R1 million will pay you out 5,000 Rand for the next 30 years. 5 million rand will pay you out 26,000 rand. 10 million rand will pay you out 52,000 rand a month. Let's go back to the first column. Who can survive on 5,000 rand a month once they retire? So once you get given the handshake, maybe a nice watch, your employer sends you on your way, says thanks for your 40, 45 years of service. Good luck. Now you look at how much money you've saved. You've got 1 million rand sitting in an investment. It pays you out 5,000 rand a month. Are you going to survive on 5,000 rand a month? Anyone survive on 5,000 rand a month? No. My second question is, who's currently, in our audience today, who is currently saving towards 1 million rand? Do you see the problem? Do you see the problem? You're worrying about the end of the month. You need to worry about the end of the month, the end of the year, and don't forget the end of employment. Because this is when it really bites you. Because you can worry about the end of the month, but at least you're getting a salary at the end of the month. Retrenchment hits you or retirement hits you, there's no salary at the end of the month, and you don't have enough money to survive. We have 98% of the population that gets to retirement financially dependent. Dependent on who? You better love your family. Right? Because you're going to become a burden to family, to your kids. You're going to have to downgrade your lifestyle to such a degree because you're going to be forced to survive on whatever you have at that stage. And that is 98% of our population. That is ridiculous. Right? So this is certainly not a solution that we put up and go, let's start engaging in responsible retirement planning. Because most of us don't have the time. If you are around the age of 20 to 25, you've got time on your side. You have this gift, you don't realize it yet, but you have this gift of time on your side. Because if you want to get to this position, all you have to do is save 800 rand a month for the next 40 years. So through your entire employment, if you can save 800 rand a month, and that contribution increases with inflation, right? So the contribution has to increase with inflation, which is 7%. You have to get that 7% increase from your boss every year. Then you'll be in a position where you've saved 1 million rand, you get 5,000 rand a month. But no one wants that example, so you need to probably look at this example here. 26,000 rand a month, you need 5 million rand. You can do it by saving 4,000 rand a month for the next 40 years. It's all the non-young people moaning now. Right? And the young people are thinking, I don't have 4,000 rand a month to spend on a retirement plan. So this is all the negativity, the economy, the debt, retirement, right? This economy, it doesn't make it easy for us. This is why this is not a solution to our issues. The solution to our problem is being able to create an additional income stream for yourself. And you have to do it for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. And we saw this issue. We actually saw it as an opportunity. As a business, we saw this as an opportunity to create a system or a platform for South Africans to engage in to generate income for themselves. And so the DuePoint system was launched last year in February. And we have aspirations in our business for you. So we've actually got aspirations for you. Our first aspiration is to see you become debt-free. Debt is crippling. If you are stuck in a debt cycle, you have no freedom to do anything, right? So the first goal is to break out of this debt cycle. So the additional income that you create, pay your debt off as quickly as possible, because it'll put you in a position where you're able to now start investing into assets or investments. The assets and the investments will set you free when you hit retirement. It removes your dependency on employment, okay? The third aspiration is the answer to why you're here this morning or this afternoon. And the third aspiration is to see everyone happier, not moaning old people that have seen their 20s come and go. We want to see everyone happier. You came to a business presentation in hope of hearing something that can potentially change your situation. So those are 3 aspirations. How do you get involved? Well, our guests, you have the opportunity of becoming wealth engineers this afternoon. You have the opportunity to contract with us. We'll call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we only want you to do one thing. That is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what one of those are. And through these channels of distribution, which is really you introducing people to DuePoint, we'll attempt to place product with those individuals. And if we're successful in that, that is how your channel of distribution grows. And you get to create an additional income stream for yourself over and above your salary. This is the only way you pay off debt any quicker than what you're doing currently. The nature of the income that you produce here at DuePoint is called recurring income, right? Recurring income is something that is derived out of the value of an asset. This is awesome, right? This is the reason I left the business that I started, because we couldn't create recurring income. Recurring income is the ability to make money while you're sleeping. Think about that. Some people are confused. How do you make money while you're sleeping? Right? So in my business that I ran, we certainly couldn't make money while we were sleeping because we were a service-based businesses. And all service-based businesses are typically like this. There has to be somebody doing something to make the money, right? And if there isn't someone doing anything, you're not making any money. So we would spend the whole year trying to make money because when everyone went on holiday in December, we didn't make money in December and even in January. And so we had hoped to have enough money to get us through December and January. In this business, you get to create recurring income. So you're going to be building an asset, a channel of distribution that pays you. You can be in a position in this business if you've created a sustainable enough channel that in 5 years' time, you can take 6 months of leave and do nothing. Sit on the beach with your family for 6 months and you'll get paid by DuePoint every single month while you're sitting on the beach. That is what recurring income is. This business is the ability to build an asset, right? This is exactly what you don't do in employment. In employment, you are building someone else's asset. The opportunity here is to build your own asset. The system is created so that you can take or leverage the power of duplication. What is that? These channels of distribution that you build are actually teams of people that you will be building around you that will collaborate with you and invest time into your asset to increase your recurring income. So you've got limited time, but if you've got a team of 10 people collaborating with you, now you've got 10 times the amount of time being invested into your business, right? This is a flexi time opportunity, but this is wrong. We need to scratch flexi time out, and we write, this is a business that requires time sacrificed. Do you realize this? You didn't think it was going to happen on its own, right? If you're interested in this business opportunity, this is one of the decisions you have to make. You have to decide, how does DuePoint fit into your life going forward? On a permanent basis. Can you schedule DuePoint into your schedule every week? We can fit DSTV into our schedule. We can fit gym into our schedule. Can you fit DuePoint into your schedule on a regular basis? That is really one of the biggest decisions you have to figure out if you want to start this business. If you want to be successful at it. Anyone can join the business, anyone. But to be successful at it, completely different story. It requires time sacrificed. There's no startup capital, there's no registration fees. We don't sign you into 12-month or 24-month contracts. There's no boxes of product that you have to buy to get involved in this business. We make it risk-free. There's no experience or qualifications required in this business. This is financial services. We have to abide by all the regulation, but we actually contract you out of that obligation so you can enjoy the benefits of recurring income, power duplication, doing the business when you're able to without the onus of all this FSB regulation. You get to build an asset. This is the most important benefit on this slide. Like I said before, this is not employment. You're not building someone else's asset. You are here to start building your own asset that will pay you a recurring income that will set you free from your dependency on a salary. And it's an asset that you actually have legal ownership over. This channel of distribution you have legal tender to. You can sell your business at a later stage. You can give it to your kids when you get too old to get out of bed one day. If something happens to you, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. This is value, real value that you're building in something. And there's no selling involved. Does this surprise you or confuse you? There's a business opportunity, there's no selling involved. How are we making money there? Right? That's the question you ask the person that invited you. What are we selling in that business? Just tell me. You came in looking for the products on the counter, right? There's no selling. We actually contract you again out of selling. You're not allowed to sell. What you are allowed to do is go tell people about the business opportunity, not about our products. And we have intangible financial products. This is a great benefit because there's no distribution issues. There's no stock issues. You don't have to bring a bucky every time you want to go out and do DuePoint to fit all the product on. It doesn't take up space in your garage at home. There's no expiry date on our products, right? These are great benefits. So we make this business as convenient as possible for you to get involved in. But it's very much dependent on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution. And they begin with you. You become a wealth engineer, and you're going to go out and tell people about the business opportunity. This is the most attractive aspect of this business, is the income opportunity. That's what people want to hear about, right? Because if 98% of us are in the same boat, I promise you there's plenty target market out there to go tell people about a business opportunity that will be interested in what you have to tell them. And if you're successful in that, and you get 5 people to join your business, this is just an example. You get some of your friends, colleagues, acquaintances, whoever, to join the business. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. The power of duplication comes into it when these people go out and speak to other people. Because if they're able to attract other people into DuePoint, these people still fall into your business. They fall into your channel of distribution. And you get paid for every single product that you see on the screen, every single dot. And next month, there'll be a couple of more dots. Even though you only know 5 people in your entire business. It's your board of executives. You don't have to know anyone else. You don't. You're the CEO. That's your board of executives. You don't need to know anyone else, right? This is not a business about micromanaging. This is a business about leadership, leading by example. And if you're able to create a sustainable enough business that looks like this is when you can go on 6 months holiday and still get paid every single month, because we're paying you a recurring income based on every single dot you see on the screen every single month going forward. Right? So that's what it looks like. You'll be forgiven if you arrive this morning thinking, bet I've been invited to one of those get-rich-quick schemes. Right? We're all worried that it's a get-rich-quick scheme, but in the back of your mind, you're hoping it is. Because we all want to get rich quickly, don't we? Right? Success never happens easily or quickly. It doesn't. It does not. You can see it around the people. People that have been involved in get-rich-quick schemes. Do they have a good story to tell, generally? No, they usually got a sob story to tell, right? I had a gentleman, educated, well-dressed, works in corporate, come to me and say he lost 200,000 rand in a get-rich-quick scheme. I was like, buddy, that is horrible, right? Why would you do that? But it paints a picture of how desperate we are as a society if we're willing to put money into these things with these crazy expectations, right? So in this business, we'll never promise you success easily. It's clearly not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're a 70-year-old insurance company that's regulated by the FSB amongst a host of other bodies that regulate us. We're very reputable individuals. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. Don't smell like a get-rich-quick scheme. But at the same time, in this business, in this DuePoint division, I won't promise you success quickly, because that doesn't exist. What I want you to do is have a long-term vision about where this business can potentially get you in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years' time. Because if you have short-term expectation in this business, and we don't meet that short-term expectation, it'll frustrate you to the point where you'll quit and walk away. But if you've got a long-term vision for the business, you will endure the short-term frustration, the learning curve. This is very much a people business, and people are irritating. Right? Am I lying? We get irritated by our own family. Now you've got to get on with your 1,000 people in your channel of distribution. Okay. So if you can get beyond the short-term issues, there can be success waiting for you. Let's talk about the money. How do we pay our wealth engineers? So there's 2 ways that wealth engineers can benefit out of this business. The one is called the returns program, and the other is called the rewards program. So in the returns program, this is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month, depending on how much product you have in your channel, right? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product you have in your channel. Remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to the business? These people lie on your first point. They're 1 point away from you. And they each took 1 product in our business. And on the first point, we actually pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So on your first point, we're paying you 55 Rand for every product every month. Remember, it's recurring income. Every month. Those people go out and introduce other people to the business that also fall into your channel. And again, on the second point, you get paid 55 Rand for every product every month. And so as your business starts to grow to the third point, to the fourth point, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth point, the multiplier starts to drop the further the product gets away from you. But from the eighth point onwards, we'll keep paying you 4% of that 27 Rand 50. So you could build a business, let's say, to the 100th point. From the 8th point to the 100th point, you will keep getting paid beyond. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get at DuePoint. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn here at DuePoint. The accountability always lies with you. You deciding how much time you're putting in, how much effort you're putting in, how long term you want this business to work for you. So this is the mechanics of how we pay the returns. Okay. The next question we always get is, well, how much money, give me an idea of how much money I can earn after a certain amount of time so I can decide whether this is worthwhile for me or not. Because 55 Rand doesn't mean much to me, you know. So what we did was we projected your earnings over the next 5 years. It is dependent on a growth formula. It assumes that you as a new wealth engineer can bring 3 people into the business in your first month. Right? So in August, you're going to bring in 3 new wealth engineers into your business. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2. So in September, you bring another 2. October, another 2. November, another 2, into perpetuity. If you can follow this growth formula that we call 3 plus 2, you can expect these numbers. After 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand. Now, this is a great example because I say 2,500 Rand and everyone sits there like this. No one ever leaves, which is a good sign. So at least the number's high enough that no one leaves the presentation. But no one seems to be too impressed with 2,500 Rand. Because the value of money, right, we think is not worth much anymore. A new pair of Nikes is 2,500 Rand, right? But let me give you some context, because everything should be looked at in the context of debt and future value. That's how you should look at money. Don't look at money what you can buy in the shops. That warps your perspective of the value of money. Look at it in the form of debt and what you can afford. So here, 2,500 Rand. Here's an example of someone that's got R1 million debt. They found a nice townhouse here in Bryanston. It must be a very small townhouse. For R1 million, and they went to the bank to ask for a bond, right? Because they didn't have the cash. So the bank said, okay, we'll do a credit check, and you're earning enough salary. It looks like you can afford to pay the bond for the next 20 years. It's going to cost you 11,500 Rand at the current interest rate. Right? So we appreciate how this bond thing works. After 6 months in DuePoint with some success, you're now earning 2,500 Rand. And instead of spending stuff in the shops, spending your money on stuff in the shops, you listen to Rob and you decide you're going to try pay your debt off as quickly as possible. So you take the 2,500 Rand and you put it as an additional payment into your bond. What happens? I'm 40. I engage in this bond at the age of 40. I'm going to become a homeowner the day I get kicked out the business, retired. Right? So it'll be the first time. 20 years later, I'll become a homeowner, 20 years' time. But if I do this, I can reduce the bond from 20 years down to 11 and a half years. I can become a homeowner at the age of 51 with just 2,500 Rand extra every month. The 2,500 Rand will save you R1 million in repayments to the bank. Doesn't that blow your mind? Makes you want to phone the bank manager and say, why are you taking so much money? Right? Because the whole house cost R1 million. How can 2,500 Rand save me R1 million on the house that is valued at R1 million? But this is the beauty of compound interest. One of Einstein's sayings, he said, the 8th wonder of the world is the compounding effect. And are you on the good side of the compounding effect, or are you on the bad side of the compounding effect? Are you investing and building assets? Or are you a salary earner paying bills and debt? We need to shift. We need to shift out of that box. After 12 months, you're earning 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand a year. Anyone get a 100,000 Rand bonus? Anyone getting a 100,000 Rand bonus from the employers? One person. Man, don't put your hand up. Everyone's going to come ask you for money. Right? One of us. There's always one of us in the audience out of the 150. Right? So the data is about right, isn't it? So that's after 12 months. After 24 months, you could be earning 30,000 Rand a month. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. What does 30,000 Rand a month tick off on your cost of living every month? Car, bond, helper, transport. You could get a chef in to cook for you. Right? Now we're talking. It's 24 months away. After 36 months, you're on close to 50,000 Rand a month. At the 30-month mark, we got an example of a 5 million Rand bond for the high flyers in the audience. 5 million Rand bond. If you put the 36,000 Rand that you're earning out of DuePoint as an additional payment into that bond, you'll pay a 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. That's great, isn't it? So now you can start getting your imagination working. So even my imagination, when I saw the example, I thought, phew, I'm 40 now. At 47, I pay my first house off, buy a second house. Pay my second house off at the age of 54, buy a third house. Pay the third house off at the age of 61. Go into retirement, my golden years, renting out 2 houses for what? 60, 70,000 Rand a month, while DuePoint is still paying me. That's the retirement I want. Right? Or do I just sit back, hope I don't get retrenched, get to retirement, pay my house off over 20 years? Phew, I've paid off my 5 million Rand house. Oh dear, I don't have enough of an investment to live. Let me sell the 5 million Rand house. So I sell the 5 million Rand house, I either move in with my kids or buy a caravan, and then I live off the 4.5 million. Does that sound good? No, that doesn't sound good. You've got to hope your children will accept you into the house. You keep going. 48 months, you're probably close to about 70,000 Rand a month. And then after 60 months, we are close to about 1 million Rand in recurring income that you've earned for yourself. Now, you might be getting excited, and then that little part of your brain is pulling back your excitement, saying, it's just an example the accountants made up to get you excited. It is. It is just an example that the accountants made up, based on this growth formula called 3 plus 2. Because you can join the business, and you can be 0 plus 0 in this business. You can be. We've got a big 0 plus 0 club here at DuePoint. We don't name them, but it certainly exists. But on the opposite side of it, you can do more than 3 plus 2, because this is just an example. It's just an example. We've had wealth engineers come in, look at 3 plus 2, 2,500 Rand after 6 months and go, I'm not doing 3 plus 2, I want more. I want more. And it's completely up to you to decide how much you want out of this business, because the accountability lies with you. And so every month we invite a host of wealth engineers to come and share their stories with the audience so that you can really get an understanding of what this business is all about straight from the horse's mouth. So here we got Jack from Witbank. He joined this year. At the end of January, he joined DuePoint. And within a few months, he's already at 7,000 Rand a month. After his first month, in 30 days, he created for himself 1,000 Rand a month. That's 12,000 Rand a year that he created pretty much out of nothing, right? You might think, well, 1,000 Rand, what's 1,000 Rand going to buy you? Stop thinking about what money can buy you. Look at it in terms of future value. How much money would you need to have in the bank to derive 1,000 Rand a month out of? So we saw the original retirement example. You needed 1 million Rand in the bank to derive 5,000 Rand. You need 200,000 Rand sitting in the bank to derive an income of 1,000 Rand a month. Do you see the change in value, your perception in the change of value of money? He created 200,000 Rand cash investment for himself in 30 days. He more than doubled it, tripled it, and then doubled it again. Yeah, we've got Engelbert from KZN, been with us for over a year. He joined when we launched the business, a couple of days after we launched. He started out fairly slowly. He kind of tracked 3 plus 2 the entire time, right? And if you listen to his testimony, everything's on YouTube. You can go listen to their stories. He'll say that 2016 was horrible for him. He had health issues. He had to go for operations, and he did this, and he had some guy in his channel that was trying to get people to join get-rich-quick schemes behind his back, and he just did not have a good 2016. His income went up, and then it came down again. But if you listen to his story, he says, I've got lots of time in this business. I'm not worried about 2016. I'm going to make 2017 better. I've learned from 2016. That's what persistence is all about. If he had short-term expectations, he would have quit. He would have said, that business doesn't work. I'm giving up. And he'll move on to the 14th get-rich-quick scheme that he comes across, and he'll try his hand at that. It's about persistence in life. And Kayezi Joined at the end of March. April, May, 2,500 rand. June, 5,000 rand. July, 17,000 rand. The accountability lies with you. Every single person is different. Every single person sitting in this room will make a different decision about how much they need, how much they want, how much time they're willing to sacrifice. You have the freedom to decide those numbers on your own. And if you do nothing, you'll be part of the 0+0 club. You won't get a phone call from me. I don't phone people that do anything in the business, right? The system is the same for everybody. It's up to you in terms of how you want to engage with it. We pay hundreds of wealth engineers every month that have created different levels of income for themselves on a monthly basis. Did they need qualifications? Did they send in an application form that needed to be accepted by us? Did we tell them they can or they can't? Did we give certain people preference? No, 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 and no. It's the same for everybody. The opportunity is the same for everyone. So this is the returns program. This is the most important aspect of the business. This is the first way to earn at DuePoint. We're now going to speak about the rewards program. The rewards program is the second way to earn in this business. People get more excited about the rewards program than the returns program. This is wrong. You need to get excited about the returns program. The rewards program is where we have our fun. We have rewards in the program. It's going to look great. You're going to get very excited about it, right? But I'm going to remind you about the reality of everything at the end of the presentation. So the rewards program rewards you when your channel starts to grow and we see that you're very active as a wealth engineer. Because when you're active as a wealth engineer, we give you something called XP, experience points, and you collect experience points all the time. For people that came to this presentation today and tuned into the live stream, we gave them 3 times the amount of normal XP for today. For guests, for tuning into the live stream, for logging into the system, for watching trainings, videos, you get XP for all kinds of things. Simply behavior associated to being a wealth engineer. And as your business starts to grow, we will reward you. So if you become a wealth engineer this afternoon, you will start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Still part of the 0+0 club. You want to get out of that club as quickly as possible. It's not a cool club to be in. Right? But very quickly you can get to rank 1 because you only need 1,000 XP. You can do that in less than a day. And you only need 4 products in your entire qualified channel. And when you do that, you get to rank 1, we'll give you an extra 55 Rand over and above what we're paying you in the returns program. And as you start to have more success in the business and you've got more XP that you're collecting, then you'll get to rank 2. And the rewards get bigger and better. 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give our wealth engineers tools that help them be more effective at building these channels of distribution. So here's Patrick and Pumi. At rank 5, we gave them these imported lightning memory sticks. These are awesome little devices because they've got all our video collateral on there. Everything about DuePoint's on there. But more importantly, they can plug that little device into anything. It plugs into cell phones, it plugs into tablets, into laptops, into computers, into TVs, Apple, Android devices, even banana devices. It plugs into everything. Right? That's important because it doesn't matter what device Patrick and Pumi have around them or who is around them, they can show people a video of the DuePoint opportunity at any time. At rank 7, we get these business cards manufactured. They're not printed. There's no ink on these business cards. The cards get gilded and foiled in gold. There's no ink. That's gold that gets put onto those business cards. They cost us 20,000 Rand per set, but we try and get 2 sets done at a time. So we hope that our wealth engineers rank up at the same time, right? And when we do that, they cost us about 12,500 Rand a set. Why do we spend so much money on business cards? This is a first impressions-based business. People don't know about DuePoint. We don't have brand equity yet. Give us a couple of years, I promise you, everyone in this country will know who DuePoint is. But for now, it's very much a first impressions-based business. So when you go speak to someone about DuePoint, odds are they've never heard of us. They don't give you much credibility. But if you put a 20,000 Rand business card in their hand, suddenly your credibility goes up. Because when your business card costs 50 times more than the person you're speaking to, guess who's got more credibility? Right? They will give you a few more minutes to tell them what DuePoint is all about. These are tools to make you more effective. At rank 9, DuePoint will take the wealth engineer and their family business class flights to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip to our international conference, not once, but forever, every year. You get to rank 9, we'll take you on our international conference every single year forever. Think about the end of this year. What's going to happen? Because this happens in my house as well. We call a family meeting to discuss how much money we have at the end of the year. Then we decide, are we going to Umhlanga or to the Val Dam? Right? We can't go overseas. The exchange rate's too much at the moment. You don't have to worry about any of that in this business. You get to rank 9, you don't have to worry about any of that. We have booked out our resort already for the end of this year for our wealth engineers. Take a look. The footage you see in this video is of the actual resort. You can go Google it. The Western Turtle Bay, Mauritius. Don't click on the prices. You'll fall off your chair.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Does it look like you could enjoy rank 9 every year? Think your kids could enjoy rank 9? Do you think you could enjoy taking selfies in business class? Selfies on the beach in Mauritius? That would be good, right? You get a whole bunch of inboxes on your Facebook when you take selfies in business class and Mauritius. They're like, what did you do in the last year? We had one gentleman get from 0 to rank 9 in 5 months. I didn't force him. Right? We've got families that are already qualified this year. We've got another 2 families that look like they've qualified this month. Who's next? There's no time limit. There's no time limit. You can take 5 months to do this. You can take 5 years to do this. It'll be waiting there for you to get your story together. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 on a brand new car and give it to the wealth engineer. We pay cash. You know how simple a cash transaction is for a car? No, you don't know because you've had to go ask the bank for money, right? When you pay cash for anything, it is a simple transaction. They don't want to see salary slips and statements for 6 months and check your credit history. You just bring the briefcase, they give you the car. So these wealth engineers, this happened in our parking lot a few weeks ago. They drove off in a brand new car with no debit order at the end of the month. Do you see how the rewards program and the returns program gets you closer to becoming debt-free? That's our aim. This is only rank 11. The program went to rank 20. We've already designed up to rank 28. What happens at rank 28? Always get those. A jet! A house! You have to get there to find out. Okay. So that's the rewards program. That is the rewards program. So we've got the returns program, this is the rewards program, and there's actually a third way to benefit out of DuePoint. And it's what we call a wealth quest. A wealth quest is a very short-term quest that we do. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers on a monthly basis. It runs from the first of the month to the last of the month. Every month is different, and the reward is different every month. This one's called, or August Wealth Quest, is called Build the Right Team for the Dream, right? Can't just bring anyone into this business. You've got to build your team, your board of executives. Do you let anyone onto your board of executives? Or do you handpick your board of executives? So the challenge is, add 2 new wealth engineers onto your first point, get them qualified, and make sure you have no cancellations on your first 3 points, all in the month of August, and you'll have a brand new iPad in your hands before the end of next month. That's on offer. This is just a monthly thing that we run to keep everyone interested while you get to rank 9. Okay, so those are the 3 ways to earn with DuePoint: returns program, rewards program, and the wealth quests. We're going to ask the question, how does DuePoint afford this? How do you afford this? Well, this illustrates our business model. So on the left, traditional businesses, especially insurance companies, will spend a large portion of their premium that they charge us to spend on marketing and advertising. Right? That's how they gain clients. Here at DuePoint, you won't see us spend a cent on marketing and advertising. You won't see a DuePoint logo outside of this building, except for those very bad people trying to advertise us on Facebook. You know who you are. Stop it. I will find you. I'll get Liam Neeson to track you down. Right? So we don't spend any money on marketing or advertising. We depend on our wealth engineers to go tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. And so we don't spend the billions that the insurance industry spends on marketing and advertising. We take that portion of our premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards and those wealth quests that you see we do every month. Okay, so that explains that. Let's speak about the products. We've got 3 products. You are free to take out 1, 2, or 3 products. It's completely up to you. Our products are all financial in nature, and they speak to the issues in our lives that we experience. So we've got an investment product, an insurance product, and a discounts program, right? So the first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It is 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand will be invested in your name into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam. It is actively managed by fund managers on a daily basis. You get a little bit of insurance with this product. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover with this investment. This is not a notice or a fixed deposit. You can draw your investment out at any stage. Right? It takes 72 hours to process. You can draw the money out, but then it's not a very good investment if you're drawing the money and spending it. Okay, so this is the investment product, Access Wealth. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is strictly an insurance product. So this is only insurance. 274 Rand a month, but this time for 274 Rand, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. This is not life insurance. This is personal accident cover. The beauty of personal accident cover is that we don't profile you from a health risk point of view. The moment we profile anyone in terms of health risk, your premium fluctuates according to your health, according to your age, according to everything, right? So we don't do that. The insurance is around personal accident cover, 1.1 million Rand. You can be 80 years old, you can be diabetic and have cancer, and you can still take out this product. The premium remains the same, and the cover remains the same. So this is the insurance product. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. This product aims to save you money on the money that we spend every month anyway. So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of companies that you see over there, right? And we're adding to the list all the time. ShopRite Checkers is a very popular one because we spend a fortune on groceries, right? So through the program, you can get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers every time you shop there. No limit. We've got Eagle Ford, they're fairly recent. We've got a whole bunch of other retailers. We've got the Entertainer, which gives you access to restaurants, hotels, spas around the country where you get buy one, get one free. So it's pretty much 50% off. There's R1 million in discounts just through the Entertainer alone. We've just signed on a new data partner. We actually need to add it to the list there. It's not on the list there. Always On. They've got 2,500 hotspots around the country. You can get a gig of data for less than 37 Rand. We've negotiated data rates at 1/3 of their price. That's 67% off, right, for everyone on this Wealth Points program. So if you want immediate benefit, this is an awesome product to have. If you have any questions around the product, come speak to me afterwards. I remind you of the support that you get as a wealth engineer. If you become a wealth engineer, lean into all the support. That's all we do as staff of DuePoint, is how do we support our wealth engineers to make them more effective. So don't think you can do it on your own, or you know how to do it differently, or you're an expert salesman. We know how this business works. Plug into everything that we've created for you. It is there for you. It is there to make you effective. That's what we want to see happening. So we've got a live stream that goes out. We've built these facilities for our wealth engineers. We've got free Wi-Fi. It is all for you. Plug into it. Here we are near the end. The decision slide. What is the decision? Have you made a few decisions? You should have made a whole number of decisions during the last hour. One, are you convinced by the opportunity? That's a fairly important one, right? Number two, how on earth is DuePoint going to fit into my already full life? What does my life look like with DuePoint in it? And how often am I going to sacrifice and contribute time into building this asset? Number three, what do I want to get out of DuePoint? Right? That's the most important. This is probably the one thing people don't decide on. You have to decide on this, your goals. You go read any business management book. There are always goals. You have to have goals. If you don't have goals, you're not aiming for anything. So what is your goal out of DuePoint? Do you want to become debt-free in 2 years or 1 year? Do you want to have built up a 10 million rand asset in 10 years' time? There's my daughter coming to visit me. Do you want to get to retirement and have 15 million rand in property assets? What is your goal? Your goal is what's going to allow you to not kind of resent the time that you sacrifice in this business all the time. But your primary goal is to rid yourself of dependency on employment. Salaries are there to pay your bills and your debt. If you want to create wealth, you have to start building an asset. There is no way around it. You can go speak to anyone. That is the only way to do it. That's what entrepreneurship is all about. And there are tons of downside aspects to entrepreneurship, by the way. You go to speak to people who will put their life savings into entrepreneurship, 20 hours a day. There are all kinds of downsides in entrepreneurship, but the upside to entrepreneurship is freaking awesome. It outweighs everything. Everything if you're willing to get through the pain of the downside of entrepreneurship. And that's what is on offer here today. And I know that everyone in this room has need, because you're here on a public holiday when you could be at home. So I know you have the need, right? 98% of us, except for the rich lady in the middle there somewhere. She just wants more. I'm joking. So that's what I'm on offer. If you have any questions around the business opportunity, come speak to me. We make joining very easy. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet, we've got iPads available in the breakout room. Jump onto our homepage. There's a big blue apply button. Click on the blue apply button. The application form takes about 7 minutes to fill out, unless you don't know what your account number is or your ID number is, then you've got problems. But fill out the application. At the end of the application, you'll get a wealth engineer number. This is your number. This is the ID number for the asset that you're going to be building. It'll be SMS to you, email to you, and you can go out and start speaking to people today still. There are many hours left in today. Use it. You can start building your asset immediately. We've got merchandise. It's in the merchandise cabinet on display. The pricing's on the counter. This is not a profit center for us. These are tools that we've made available that we think will help you build your channels more effectively. Right? So we've got business cards. Please consider getting business cards. Until you get to rank 7, you're going to have the white business cards, and then you're going to have the black and gold ones at rank 7. So get these. This business, you have to behave professionally in this business. This is not a hobby that we're speaking about. This is a business that you're going to be the CEO of, that you're going to be running now. Please consider getting the business cards. The USB stick's very convenient because we've got all our videos on there, so if you don't want to use data, get the USB stick, and there's a whole bunch of other merchandise that you can take a look on. Got a YouTube channel, it's got all our videos on there. All the testimonials that we've done for the last year and a half, interviews with the heavyweights and our chairman of the business, lots of information on there. Training development seminars, everything's on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll tell you every time a new live stream's about to start. It'll tell you every time a new video is posted on. Once you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app because it tells you what's happening in your business in real time. Right? You can see yourself making money while you sleep. It'll tell you you made money while you were sleeping last night. That's what this app does. So download the app. We are done, guys. I thank you for your time, especially on a public holiday. Come speak to me afterwards if you need to, and have a wonderful week.